What's up, guys? I've spoken a couple of times on this channel about a couple of different cases for the Samsung Galaxy Fold 2, and honestly, I wasn't really planning on doing much more in terms of this kind of content until a very nice individual, Harmless Carl on Twitter, reached out and said, "Hey, I have this company where we sell cases. It's called CaseBorne Armadillo Tech Incorporated. We make some really nice high-end cases, some military-grade cases, and I would like to send you some of these cases to test on your Galaxy Z Fold 4. And I said, you know what, sounds like a plan, send them on out. So today we're going to be unboxing and sort of maybe like a mini brief review of two such cases. I think that they might be a little bit different from one another. Obviously the colors are different, but I think that there is another difference in here as well. So let's get these things unboxed. Let's install them on my Z Fold 4 and see how militaristic my phone is going to look. Okay, so we have two options here. Both are the Vanguard series military grade case. Wander further with us. I like that. You got the whole military styling going on here. Let's see what we say on the back. Armadillo Tech is a Texas company. That's cool, right? I already like that. We're not in focus. There we go. I already like the idea of buying from an American company. That's a cool thing to me. I like supporting these sorts of companies. So if that matters to you, then maybe that's something to keep in mind. Our products meet or exceed U.S. mil standard 810G drop test. That is very, very cool to see. Shockproof, drop-proof, dust-proof, and scratch-proof. Vanguard series will protect your device from daily grind and adventures. All right, so which one should we do first? Let's do the black one first, because I think it is one that maybe is missing a feature. All right, so this is the case itself, and it is a hard plastic shell. Not a whole lot in terms of like grippiness. All you can see the cutout for the side mounted fingerprint scanner, and then the volume up and down. I do love that there is a kickstand. Oh, and it's like a reinforced kickstand. That is quite a nice feature to have. Snaps in place really nicely. You've got two little nubs here on these spots. Oh, and that is so that you wind up sitting flat. It makes it so that it's going to balance and not wobble around on a table. That is quite smart. Let's take these little foamy bits out of here. And you can see that we have some adhesive, which that's going to just be par for the course for cases like this. They have to, there's very little for them to stick to. On the inside here, though, this is interesting. There's like a grippy sort of like foam cushion thing going on. I wish I could like show this to you even better, but like this is there's not like a ton of give, right? Like it's not super, super thick, but it's definitely going to provide a little bit of cushion. That is very, very intelligent. And then you can see here that the hinge is also going to be protected as well. Okay, that's pretty cool. So I'm not taking the adhesive stuff off just yet because I want to be able to try them both out very quickly. Actually, there's probably like a specific way to do this because as you can see here, it wraps around on either side. So this isn't just going to snap on like a normal case. They may actually provide instructions here. You get a nice little handwritten note. That's a nice touch. I like stuff like that. A thank you from Dallas, Texas. Very, very cool. And here you go. Here's an installation guide. Okay, so insert the back of the device into the back cover. And then, okay, got it. Okay, that's not so bad. So we're going to want to be in phone mode. So we're going to take one end and just sort of place it down in there at the bottom. We're going to try to just push it in there. And that seems like that's mostly worked. There's a spot up there where it's kind of, okay, there we go. I pushed it in further and everything is locked into place. Now it shows we should just be able to fold that top flap over, you can see there, and that should be able to just kind of snap everything in place. So we're going to try to do that here and see what happens. Well, I've popped the hinge apart there. So that did not work as well. Let me see if I can pop this back in real quick, and we'll see if we can try that again. I'm actually going to try to do it opened up for this second bit here because that was a lot of strain to put on. Yeah, that worked much, much better. So I would say the instructions say to have it in phone mode and flap it over. This seemed to work a lot better. Actually open it up and you should be okay. Now, one thing I'm immediately noticing here is that it's easy to one hand because I have this to hold on to on the back, the thing that's actually covering the hinge. So that is pretty convenient there. And then whenever you open it back up, there's this nice little hinge mechanism there, right? That whenever you go to close it back into phone mode, it slides around and now you're covering up the hinge. So everything is nice and protected. The volume buttons feel pretty nice. This thing feels rock solid. Let's see how this kickstand works. It is kind of hard to get that kickstand out, but it's not going to be falling out on its own, to say the least. It's not going to, you're not going to have an accidental kickstand opening situation. And there you go. It's going to hold it up just fine. You have two different angles because of the fact, well, okay. So you can't, there you go. Okay, so you can put it down that way, but this little flappy bit here, you're going to want to make sure that it's all the way up, because if it's at an angle, it's just going to close. But if you pull it up all the way, you should be all right to use that kickstand either way. So I will say this does feel very, very solid. Let's take a brief moment here. Will it fit in my stand with that bumper thing on the back? Not really, but we're going to take a moment and let's look at the price of this first one. So this is one we're looking at currently, and it is $69.98. Does it actually have a screen protector in the box? Did I seriously just miss that? Let's go back to the overhead. They did include additional adhesive in case yours are gone. There is some stuff, I'm imagining, yeah, installation cleaning kit, and there is an external screen protector, and there's actually two of them in there. So that's, I mean, come on, that's pretty rock solid, guys. You're going to get two screen protectors, extra adhesive, and a pretty solid feeling case for $69. And like I said earlier, you're going to be supporting a small business running here in these United States. So that is pretty cool. I'm fairly happy with that. This does feel like an absolute brick and a half. Now, we need to jump over to this one because it's similar, but there is an additional pretty cool feature here that we need to take a look at. I've gone into the wrong camera. There we go. So as you can see here, obviously the biggest thing is that it is orange and the other one was all black, but there is actually more going on here. Let's pop this out of there. We should have the same sorts of things, right? Two more screen protectors, cleaning kit, instructions, all of that stuff in there just the same. We have that same padded thing going on the inside, but I believe that this thing, there's a little something special going on here where, yes, you can slide this thing up, and guess what that's for? That is a pretty cool place to be able to stick your S Pen. So you've got that big bump on the back of this thing. Well, why not just put your pen in there? So if you have an S Pen, there you go. You've got it stowed along with you. That is a pretty cool solution. It's not sticking out of the back there. It's there. Okay, so we've got this thing installed as well. You can see very nice, vibrant colors. And of course, you know, there is your S Pen. This is another thing that it is very, very secure in there. That is actually kind of hard to open. I kind of almost have to like brace it against myself to feel secure tugging on it that hard. But there you go. There's your pen secured in there. Is it, how would you open it if you've got the tablet open? I guess you would just sort of spin it around and do something like that. That would probably be my biggest complaint about it, is that is like, maybe it'll loosen up over time, but out of the box, that is very, very difficult to open. I mean, I guess on one hand, like, it's a good thing that it's not going to be, you know, falling out of there for sure. It's not going anywhere. And honestly, if I remember correctly, this thing, when I first got it, like, it was really hard to get the pin in and out of as well, and it kind of loosened up. So maybe this will loosen up, maybe this mechanism, I should say, will loosen up a little bit too. But you can see, man, like, it does require a lot of force. Let's take a look here at this other one on Amazon as well. It is $89, so you're going to be paying a little bit more, so another $20 to have that S Pen functionality back there. Now, there is a $5 off coupon on that one and an $8 off coupon on the more basic one. So all in all, I mean, look, if we're going to compare this thing, let's do this real quick. If you start looking at rugged cases that look similar, that have the place to put the pen, have a screen protector, things like that, yeah, $89 and up is about where you're going to be at. So I think that this is a relatively fair price. And look, this thing, you know, I said earlier that it's a brick and a half, and some people are going to like that. Some people are going to like the fact that this thing is rugged and militaristic, right? Maybe this is a phone that you bought and you work on a construction site or something like that, or you hike a lot and you want to make sure that if you drop this thing, probably nothing's going to happen to it. You have the screen protector protecting the front and the inside, that shock resistant material there on the inside. And again, let me just tell you, that thing is absolutely hard as a rock. Nothing's going to happen. And then, of course, this edge here is a bit more rubberized and I think could absorb a little bit of shock. So if that's what you're looking for, for me, I tend to look for something that's a little bit more of a grip and a little bit more streamlined. But I do know plenty of people. A buddy of mine has a Z Fold 3 and he has a bit more of a rugged case like this on it, and I think this would probably be a better option than what he has on there because he's damaged his phone a little bit. Well, if he was wearing something like this, it's going to be really hard to damage your phone if you're wearing something like this. I also need to mention that the cameras are actually recessed in there, so it's going to be, again, if you set it down, you're not going to be scratching your camera lens. So if the utmost protection is what you are looking for, drop down into the description and hit one of those 2 links to look at some of these cases. I'll also put a link directly to their website if you want to buy it directly from them, or if you want to just look into the company more. I'll also link to Carl's Twitter account as well, because like I said, for me, that actually does make a little bit of a difference. I like the idea that, yeah, look, the case is interesting. It's a very rugged, very impressively well-built case. But at the same time, I love the idea that I'm buying it from an individual's company, somebody that started their own thing up here in America. I love the idea of doing that. So maybe that means something to you as well. If it does, go give Carl a follow and go check out the stuff that him and his people have been working on. Massive shout out to Carl for sending this stuff over for me to take a look at. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button on your way out. I'll see you on the next one. And until next time, stay nerdy, my friends.